Hi everyone, welcome back to Storytime. Next week, on March 17th, it's going to be St. Patrick's Day. So I thought that today Maurice and I could read you a story that happens in Ireland. We're going to read The Field of Buttercups, which is an Irish story retold by Alice Boden. One fine morning in Ireland, Michael O'Grady thought he would take a day's holiday. He walked through the village and then went along the lane that led up the hill. It was a lovely day. The air was fresh and Michael was enjoying himself. All of a sudden, he heard a noise, a funny tap-tapping coming from behind the wall. Quietly, he climbed up and peeped over the wall into the field. What a surprise! There was a little man sitting on a stone mending a shoe. It was the tap-tap of his hammer that Michael had been hearing. Michael knew that he was looking at a leprechaun, and every Irishman knows that the leprechaun has a pot of gold hidden away in a secret place. Michael remembered that they say that if you take your eyes off a leprechaun, he disappears, so he kept watching him all the time. He climbed carefully over the wall, crept across the grass, stretched out his arm, and grabbed the leprechaun tightly by the arm. "Now," he said, "where's your pot of gold?" "Look out!" cried the little man. "You're going to sit on a thistle." He said that to make Michael turn around and take his eyes off him so he could escape. But Michael was too clever to be tricked like that. "Show me where you hide your pot of gold," he said, shaking him till his teeth rattled. The leprechaun twisted and turned, but he couldn't get free. He knew that in the end he would have to take Michael to the place where he kept his gold. They walked a long way, across the fields and over bogs and ditches and walls. Michael kept his eyes on the little man all the time. He was a funny-looking creature, to be sure, with his long grumpy face and big round spectacles. On and on they went until they came to a field that was yellow with buttercups. At last the leprechaun stopped. He gave a big sigh and pointed at a buttercup. "Dig under that buttercup," he said, "and you'll find the pot of gold." Michael looked at the hard stony ground. He'd need a spade to dig up the gold. But what was he to do? If he went home to get one, he'd forget which buttercup he had to dig up. Then he had an idea. He took off one of the red garters he was wearing. Then he tied it round the stem of the buttercup so that he'd be sure to know which was the right flower when he came back. He looked hard at the leprechaun. "Promise you'll not take that garter away from the flower," he said. "I promise," said the leprechaun, crossing his heart. "May I go now?" "Yes," said Michael. "Now you've promised not to touch my mark." He let go of the leprechaun, who vanished into the air. Michael ran home as fast as his legs could carry him. Everyone stared and wondered what could be chasing Michael O'Grady to make him move so fast. He was in through the front door and out through the back door to pick up a spade from the garden before his mother could do more than shout, "Michael O'Grady, come back! You haven't eaten your dinner!" But Michael just kept on running, all the way back to the buttercup field. And then, what did he see? It was true that the leprechaun hadn't touched the garter, but now on every single buttercup there was a red garter just like Michael's. What was he to do? He couldn't very well dig up every buttercup in the whole field. Michael went off home. As he walked along, he began to laugh. He laughed and laughed. It was a good trick the leprechaun had played on him. When he got home, he gave his mother a big bunch of flowers so she wouldn't be cross with him. They were buttercups, of course, with red garters. Thank you for coming to our story time, and have a lovely St. Patrick's Day.